executive chairman of WME Group, a CEO of the TKO agency, and really one of the most famous super agents in our time, Ari Emanuel, who has a new Wall Street Journal op-ed arguing for this controversial merger. The Paramount-Warner merger could save Hollywood, where he argues this antitrust lawsuit puts the entertainment industry at risk. They say they're protecting competition. Their actions threaten to destroy it. Emanuel, of course, is a business leader, pioneering agent who's shaped a lot of what constitutes modern Hollywood. He's represented stars in film, TV, sports, and news. He doesn't represent me, but he does, you should know, represent some of our colleagues, both on this channel and other major news stars. He's the founder of the global events and experiences company Mari, and also co-hosts the podcast Rushmore, which looks at who should be involved in sort of the GOAT or Mount Rushmore level leaders of their field, which is why he joined us last time. And if you go back far enough, you might know that Ari Gold, the HBO Entourage character, of course, is fictional, but many say inspired by Ari. Ari Emanuel joins me now. Welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. We got a lot in your introduction. We're good. We got a lot in your introduction. You've done a lot of things. And you know this is controversial. On this program, we recently had one of the attorneys general who's opposed to the deal and says it's not only bad for diversity in media, it could be bad for democracy. Why are you writing now that it could be good?
So can I frame things a little bit? So the states claim that giving one company too much influence over theatrical release and cable operators is bad. And then the WGA argues that the combination hurts writers. Both, I think, imagine a Hollywood that doesn't exist anymore in today's world. If you put Paramount and Warner's together, they account for less than the TV viewing, which includes streaming and cable and network, less than 20%. If you add YouTube, it's probably in the 13%. The combined company, I think last year did 18% of theatrical releases. Over the last 6 years, it was 22%. The AGs just forgot to include Lionsgate, MGM, Amazon, A24, both had huge movies recently. So I think it's just a false narrative, what they're talking about. And then I would just say the following. David Ellison has committed to 30 movies. Adam Aron from AMC just endorsed the deal. If the AG think that theatrical is too much, one, the percentages are wrong and less than they say. And he's given them a 45-day window, which is what Adam Aron and I think other theatrical companies are going to come out and say. Plus, he's going to do over 170 TV shows, commit to $30 billion of spend. We've gone through 6 years. We had the COVID years and then the strike of really hurting the theatrical business and the production business and et cetera.
Sure.
Blocking this deal, in my opinion, does not create more competition. It just permits two weaker players in the marketplace. And I don't think the AGs, because you're just going to have two guys that cannot compete with 250 to 300 million subs in the streaming area, because it's not the movie business or television of old. It's of the new, which streaming has to be part of.
You're a savvy guy. People know your brother's Rahm Emanuel. You have reason to believe these Democratic attorneys generals are what? Not on the level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's a false narrative. So they just don't want David Ellison's father, quote unquote, controlling CNN. You actually heard this in a weird way. You heard this from Norm Eisen. He did a tweet. He talked about it. He talked about he did two tweets. He talked about this is about CNN. It's not me supposing this. Norm Eisen has actually gone on record and saying, and kind of so has Bonta. So here's what I would say to you. I'm happy that we have the filibuster in place. Because if we got rid of it when the Democrats were in control, imagine post that, which a lot of people were screaming they wanted, the Republicans now didn't have a filibuster and they could make any laws they wanted. So let's take this out to its full thing. So by using, this has now been approved. This has now been approved by, I think it's 65 countries. This deal, this merger.
Yeah, the
EU,
deal. Yep.
all over the world. So now we're saying, and the United States, you can tell me all the reasons why. So now we're saying that even though 65 countries, every country in the world has approved it, an attorney general in California, New York, et cetera, can block it. And then when the Democrats get in power, Republican attorney generals can block
it. Not block.
So,
they can't block it forever. They can delay it.
Okay, delay it. So if we're going to become a banana republic, like I wish we had the filibuster, you couldn't do this. I actually think this is harmful. First of all, I think it's a constitutional crisis. Two, I do think if that is the case, the capital flows in our country are so great because we have a country that you pass a law and you approve a deal and the rest of the world approves a deal, you get to go ahead with the deal. These attorney generals and Norm Eisen and all that whole group is saying, no, we don't approve it. We want to block it. You know, we want to filibuster. We want to get rid of the filibuster. We want states to be able to block things that the whole country, whole world has approved. We're a banana republic if this happens. And I don't think they realize the effect on the capital structures of money coming in.
I'll give you the final 30 seconds. I'm running over, but what you're arguing is if in the end the deal goes through, but a small group of people can upend an entire industry and the control of CNN and all of these jobs, then that might not be an efficient system, which I think on policy is a fair criticism. The flip side, though, to your argument would be if they actually stop the deal on antitrust grounds, then the court system worked because they're allowed to have their day in court. I give you the final 30 seconds.
They're not allowed to cherry pick when and where they want to do stuff. We have a federal government that says, hey, we have approved this deal. Every other country in the world has approved the deal. And then rogue attorney generals in states can blame. We are affecting, this is a constitutional issue. We're affecting economic flows to the country. And this state over 6 years has had a huge problem with movies because of COVID and the strike.
I hear that. No, I hear that.
And
I'm over.
And the leading people, the movie theaters, actually want it.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, they're all saying this is really about CNN.
Well, I'm over on time. We heard, as we like to do around here, we heard from the attorneys general. We've heard from you, and you're an insider knowledgeable. We'll hear from the Ellisons if they want to come on. Ari, I appreciate you joining.
No problem. I appreciate it.